If you are an American citizen in Russia, the State Department has a message for you. Just 22 hours ago, they want you to know if you are in Russia, even Eastern Europe or Europe for that matter, but especially Russia, you are at the highest travel alert possible and you are called to flee Moscow, flee Russia immediately. Because what comes next could be an actual hit to the landmass that is Russia.
Yeah, guys, look, if it's not one thing, it's another. Everything is just happening so fast. I feel like 2026 is just not going to stop. This is a clear sign of this is not going to stop. So stay tuned to the end so you know what I'm talking about, the things that is not going to stop.
Not only that, but America has also seized a Russian oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. And when I say seized, I don't say that lightly. I watched the video. I saw it on my Instagram feed and saw it from a variety of news sources. First post, it's pretty much traveling through the international news media, not CNN really big yet, but the troops got out of the helicopter, went on to the Russian oil tanker, seized their Venezuelan Russian oil that they had sitting there because what? America owns Venezuela now, right? America is running Venezuela. And so they seized that Russian tanker. But here's the issue. That's Russian property. It belongs to Russia. And so if you think that the Prime Minister or President Putin will not retaliate, well, you have another thing coming, because he also said that he may expand into Europe. The way that America is expanding into Venezuela, maybe Mexico, Cuba, Panama. Well, President Putin said it's now time for him to expand into Europe and basically use nuclear warfare because the US is not going to help Europe the way that they used to. He needs to acquire territory. Trump needs to acquire territory. Look, the theme of the year is territory.
Yeah, exactly. Look, that's what it comes down to. What side of the world are you going to be on? That's very important. That's something that you really got to think about. And most of the stuff that America says, I'm pretty sure a lot of people viewing this disagrees with, right? When it comes down to, I don't want to say the wrong things, but a lot of things in America is the opposite in Russia. Or I should say a lot of things in Russia is the opposite in America. Because I know President Putin, he was banning certain marriages, right? I'm not going to get too deep into it. He was actually banning a lot of things that will harm a lot of people too. So I say that because it's literally what are you going to agree with? And it's a line that's happening on the east side of the world or the west side of the world. So you gonna be the east side or the west side? Like what side? Because both sides we see how President Trump is moving, right? And then the east side of the world, you gotta think, it's still gonna be trading, it's still gonna be having some abundance, right? So the choice is yours. You really got to keep up with this information because day by day, it's changing. Because this is big. This is big. And I saw the video that you was talking about, and America is making it seem like they didn't know it was a Russian oil tanker. So, that happened, and Russia's like, no, we had the flag up. So this is going to be very interesting as we keep up what's going on. But it's a clear sign that President Trump, he's like, hey, if we see any oil tanker coming out of Venezuela or coming to Venezuela, we own it. We are going to capture it. We are going to put our troops on that boat and take it over.
And the saga is not over either. Because remember, we've been talking about Denmark, Greenland, and America. And guess what? The Prime Minister of Denmark made a statement today. And you know what he said? Hit the like button if you want to know what he said and leave a comment down below. because this statement is going to blow your mind. After President Trump told them they may use military power, the US, to take over Greenland because it's a national security risk for Greenland to not be colonized by America, the president of Greenland did not back down. Instead, he said, if you step foot on Denmark's territory, we will fire back at the US. And so we're having wars and rumors of wars all over the world, but mostly in the European world. Now, if you are a Bible believer, then you're going to find a coincidence happening, which we know is not a coincidence. If you were to read chapter 36 and 38 of the book of Ezekiel, you're going to see something happening between the nations. Nations referred to as Edom and Gog and Magog. And it seems that the Most High has sent out a spirit of confusion across these nations because they are literally ready to battle each other. In times past, they were ready to battle the browns and blacks of the world, the African, the Indian. They wanted to enslave them, put them in servitude, ship them out to the various nations of the earth, the Austronesians. But in 2026, the ages of the pirates are coming back. And if you don't know about pirate history, you may want to look into it. The Nordic pirates who would go through and pillage European villages. Well, it looks like those times are back for the Northern Hemisphere. Now, if you are an expat in Europe, or you're somebody in Europe that feels the call of the Most High to flee that forsaken northern land, then you want to listen closely, because here's what this means for you. You may want to take out a pen, your iPad and your Apple Pen, your notebook, whatever you have handy, because for right now, Europe appears stable, but you need to get out of the region. And Americans who are traveling in Spain or France or Germany or Eastern Europe, you need to be on high alert, because the only safe place that you can go to right now is Southern Africa. Yes, I would not go to the Middle East. I would not go to, definitely not Western Europe. The only safe place that you can be right now resides south of the equator, the global south, more specifically, somewhere like a Botswana, a Namibia, a Mauritius, a Seychelles, somewhere that's just neutral enough and off the beaten path that is forgotten about in World War III. Because what's coming to Europe is surely going to be a black winter, the way Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso stated on that international speech podium. He knew that the whole world could hear him. And just so you know, there's a failed attempted assassination on his life as well in the last few days. Things are heating up across the globe. And if you do not have a strategy, head to www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com to get your strategy. Because this is not the time for you to be caught slipping. And y'all know what that means, right? To be caught in the frozen cold, caught missing your flights, caught in a war zone. This dealing with airstrikes. If you're an expat, chime in below and tell us, what regions will you be traveling to in 2026?
Yeah, because I think that's the word of 2026 is strategy, being strategic with the moves that you make. Like, it's really getting down to that, because when all this plays out, flights, like planes are not going to be flying everywhere. You get what I'm saying? It might be a couple, seats on the plane, because everybody at once will only get a certain. So if flights do not go as planned, and there are only a couple of flights that's happening, those flights is probably going to be booked out. Like, automatically
in advance.
So you really gotta, like, if you need a sign, this is the sign to say, hey, you gotta get serious about this. If you are moving, it has to be a move. It's not gonna be visiting back and forth.
True.
I can see maybe once, if it's in the next couple months, visiting, but you just never know. We just never know, because things are happening each day with powerful nations too. Now it's powerful nations, powerful superpowers that's getting involved.
Yeah.
So you just never know what could happen. I mean, it's the world is due for it. You know, the Most High is revealing what needs to be revealed, but the people that is going to see it and listen, they're going to move very wise. And it's time to move wise.
And you have to do it with speed. You have to do it quickly. Fast pacing and strategy paired together will give you the successful execution that you want of your relocations or global mobility plans, because even at the end of the day, we know Africa is tightening as well. For example, the West African region is not somewhere you can reliably go right now. The Northern African region is never really reliable because it's in the Middle East. And so that only leaves us with a couple of countries in East Africa, maybe Kenya, and Southern Africa. Zambia is a good pick as well. And so you're going to have to differentiate and discern and see where gives you the most leverage, the most residency opportunity. What is the place that's going to let you stay for 5 to 10 years? What is your international global mobility banking strategy? Because as these sanctions, these airstrikes, these missiles, these face-offs between Putin and President Trump escalate, it's only going to get worse from here. And if you reside in the wrong territory, well, my friend, you just may be collateral damage.
Yeah, this is something that we go over in a mature adult intensive too. I believe, that is week 1 that we go over this. We ask serious questions, and one of the questions is, just imagine something happened like 2020. Will you feel comfortable in the city, in the town, in the country that you are in if everything locks down like that? So you really got to start thinking like that, because it's a lot of things that's happening right now.
Yes, and everyone thought
lead to that, yeah.
Everyone thought that the main issue was going to be between America and China, America and North Korea. You know, we think about like the old days in the 1990s and prior with the Cold War and coming fresh out of World War II, but nobody was prepared for Trump and Putin to escalate with each other in this manner. And they are both bringing the European nations inside of it. Eastern Europe's going to be invited in, like Belarus, and Western Europe's going to be invited in by America, like the UK and France. Now, where places like Spain or Germany or Slovakia, places like that, Slovenia, decide to go in the middle of this, Finland, Denmark, obviously. Denmark is kind of at a crossroads. They're kind of like, we don't trust Russia because Denmark does not want to become Russian. But they don't trust America because they don't want to be American either. And so they're at this strange crossroads. It's like, okay, who do we trust? New European alliances are forming. And while all of this is happening, Africa is being prepared to be a safe haven for those who heed the call and are able to discern where the Goshen is. Africa is being positioned, even places and the islands of the sea are being positioned for the chosen, the elect, to come out and to live freely while the northern world is in absolute chaos. But we want to know what you think about this down below. Share this with 50 people who need to hear it. And did you foresee Trump and Putin coming at each other like this in record time?
Yeah, they was just, buddy. They was like respecting each other and stuff. So I'm interested to see how this plays out. Let us know down below, because this is a new day. So we're gonna see.
We're gonna see. Shalom, shalom. We'll see you on the next video. Check out the links in the description if you're like, I need to get my geopolitical global mobility strategy together as soon as possible.
Yes. Shalom.